And they did not get off as slow a start as they did last week. And one of the reasons for that has been an outstanding job that Michael Cooper did on holding Larry Bird down. See, because Larry Bird sets the pace for that team. When he goes out and has a good start, the whole team starts well.
Larry Bird is 2 for 6 from the field with a total of 6 points. And so Cooper getting some help from Jamal Wilkes, and another fine defensive job on Larry Bird. Magic Johnson 7 rebounds, so his presence being felt in the lineup. Tiny Archibald with 15, Maxwell 11, Parrish 10 lead the Celtics scoring. For the Lakers, they have 3 men in double figures, and they all have 10 points. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jamal Wilkes right behind Cooper. But the bench scoring, normally the Celtics have the stronger bench, but it's 14-10. Lakers have the edge in the bench.
Well, now the Lakers have a different bench than they had at the beginning of the year. With Bob McAdoo and the way Eddie George playing, they can get some scoring out of their bench. Normally they don't get, they just use their bench for rebounding and playing defense. But now they got a bench that they can get some points out of.
So we start the third period. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell at the forum. Tiny Archibald, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Chris Ford, and Cedric Maxwell. They give Parrish that shot, and he misses. Nixon the loose ball. Nixon's had a tough time shooting. Wilkes beating Ford down the court and gets the hoop. So the Lakers running and scoring the first point, and Maxwell hurt his hand the other way. It's his right hand as he flexes it coming up, and a 7-point lead. Biggest lead for the Lakers, 8. Celtics had a 9-point lead early in the contest. Cooper is on Bird. Ford hits outside. So we're going to watch again and isolate Cooper and Bird. That's a big matchup.
Now the reason Chris Ford was able to get that shot off, the Lakers are really concerned with helping out on Larry Bird. So in order to help out, you have to drop off on the outside shooter. And you can't drop off with Chris Ford because he's an excellent outside shooter. If they sit up on, if they got up on him and really played him tough, it'd be difficult for him to get a shot off without a pick. But with just taking advantage of the fact that the Lakers are so conscious of Bird, he's able to get a good shot off.
Maxwell is on Wilkes. Magic Johnson double team. Cooper is left open, and Magic takes a bad shot. Short. Bird goes behind the Parrish, and Tiny controls. The Celtics have lost 2 of the last 3 games. The Lakers have lost 2 in a row, and Parrish can't make the layup inside. So the Celtics can't find the hoop early here, and the Lakers lead by 5. Minute and a half gone by in this third period. Larry Bird has not had a field goal since 9:35 of the first period. That's a tremendous story. Nixon goes in. Parrish rebound.
In some games, this part of the game, the beginning of the third quarter, is very, very important.
Johnson.
This game is not as important as it is in most games because these teams are playing so even. They're like reestablishing themselves the second half.
Cooper knocked away by Chris Ford. Good defensive play by Ford. Maxwell can't go anywhere with Kareem. Now Nixon picks him up. A mismatch there. Cooper still on Bird. That won't change as Tiny hits from up on top. So that's exactly as Bill mentioned. These clubs, of course, know what the other guy can do, and so they're not worried about some team moving out too far in the third because there's a long way to go in the game, as last week proved. Nixon gets inside on Ford. Another fine defensive play by Chris Ford. 2 in a row for the 10-year veteran from Villanova as Larry Bird breaks the drought, now with 8 points in the game.
He's the guy that keeps coming at you all day, and you may hold him down, but you won't stop him.
Parrish overplaying Kareem, and Chris Ford helping out. Michael Cooper misses. And we'll have a jump ball between the 2 big guys, Parrish and Kareem. But Chris Ford's defense has helped the Celtics come back here in the third period. And we have a timeout with 9:09 remaining in the third period as you look at the Laker bench. And the Laker lead has been cut to a single point. Well, in this game, we're seeing 3 of the top 5 playmakers in the NBA. Magic Johnson and Norm Nixon flanking Nate Tiny Archibald, and Tiny leads with 6 assists thus far in the ball game.
And that's a little unusual to have 2 guys from one team in the top 5 in assists.
Kareem and Parrish will jump. 9:09 remaining, third period. A 1-point lead for LA. And the Celtics with a chance to take the lead.
And that demonstrates the point I made earlier that just because you get control of the tip does not mean you come up with the ball.
And Jamal Wilkes got a hand on that pass inside and taken down by the Lakers, who have had the edge in turnovers. Inside, Jamal Wilkes goes in and fights the baseline. Elected to Pro Football's Hall of Fame, and deservedly so, Merlin Olsen, a brilliant defensive end with the Los Angeles Rams. Whistle, and this will not count if it goes. And the foul is on Michael Cooper, his third personal foul. I'm sorry, he was a tackle. Merlin, defensive tackle, probably would have been just as good as a defensive end. I would have played him at defensive end. As a matter of fact. Foul. Of course, no more backcourt fouls. You like the way I slide out of that?
Oh, yeah. Nobody's buying, no, Dick. Nobody's buying.
I get that impression. And it's getting awfully chilly, even though we're indoors. The 61-58 Lakers. 8:15 remaining, third. Kareem, fall away. Bird had it and will still maintain control. So the Celtics come right at you now. Parrish into Ford. Smartly gets he's a very smart player. Bird missing outside, and Wilkes and Kareem the rebound. Magic brings it up. He's helped the Laker rebounding tremendously so far. He has 7 in the ball game. Norm Nixon is 3 for 9 from the field. He's been hitting only 41% in the last 7 games.
Well, that's because he's had the flu for 6 of them.
I was going to say what happened to 7. Maxwell gets it in there. So Cedric Maxwell comes right back. Pace quickens. 3-point LA lead. And the substitutions are going to be important as we move on now. And the same people that started this period are in there now. Wilkes, pressure from Maxwell, gets his own rebound. Johnson fighting, and Maxwell coming around with it. The workhorse of the Celtic front line. Cooper picks up Chris Ford. Steal. Cooper all alone. Wilkes, he'll get 2.
I didn't even know he could dunk.
He doesn't usually. LA by 5. Celtics had it down to 1 but couldn't take the lead. Lakers have 14 steals in this game, and they're trying for number 15. Gambling all over the place. Wilkes.
And paying for the gamble.
That's right. Parrish with 12. Archibald, 17, leads the Celtics. Wilkes with 16 leads the Lakers, but Kareem now with 12 points in the game as he goes over double figures for the 348th consecutive time. 6:25 to go in the third. Maxwell no good. Kareem. Outlet pass. Ford pops it to Tiny. Good anticipation by Ford. Parrish against Johnson and Kareem. And Wise not to foul. And Robert Parrish, who scored 29 last week against the Lakers, most of those coming in the first half, has 14 here. Different view as the Lakers come at you with under 6 minutes remaining in the third. And they'll have an offensive foul called against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so it'll be number 3 on Kareem. So Kareem has 3, so does McAdoo and Nixon and Cooper. A bunch of people with 3. We have a timeout, and that's our score. And Johnny Miller is expected to come back and defend that title he won last year. And what a tournament he had. A record 14 under par, 270 for the 4-round event. The $300,000 Los Angeles Open next weekend on CBS. And the action starts 5 o'clock Eastern time next Saturday. By the way, Lakers owner Dr. Jerry Buss, who was admitted to Washington Hospital on Tuesday with a gallstone, was expected to be released this morning and coming back to Los Angeles later today. So we certainly wish the owner of the Lakers, Dr. Jerry Buss, well. Kurt Rambis, who had been in the starting lineup for quite some time, but Pat Riley knew he had to have Cooper in the lineup for the job he did. And with Magic coming back, Rambis was the odd man out. Parrish goes to the hoop against Kareem. Maxwell, the offensive board, and that's what the Celtics do the best, and we have a foul.
And something is developing here.
Walter Matthau and his son in the crowd, as we have a bunch of celebrities watching this test, Bill.
What's developing, the Lakers are getting in foul trouble. And they may not be able to play the line they want to play going down the stretch because they got 3 or 4 guys with 3 or 4 fouls. I don't know who got the last foul was on because I was looking at Matthau. But but they had but that would give Magic his 4th or 2nd. Anyway, they have three guys with 3 fouls.
Okay,
now
from above.
Here's a rebounding position, little push off there, and then here comes a little contact. A lot of contact.
It's quite an interesting view looking down. That's the way he used to look at it. Made the free throw, so it's a 67-66 Laker lead. Maxwell has 15 points and 6 rebounds. He had 31, as we said, against San Diego Friday night. Kareem. Cooper saves. Magic is baseline against Ford. And now Cooper starts it out. Take it off.
By Chris Ford, another good defensive play by Chris Ford.
That makes 3 big defensive plays here in the 3rd period by Chris Ford. Maxwell not to be denied. Bird offensive rebound, and Cooper got a hand on that ball going up, and a jump ball. Nixon and Maxwell, but it was Cooper inside when Bird seemingly had the easy follow-up layup.
And both these teams are, when they put the ball on the floor, both these teams are going at it. Here's Bird with good rebounding position. Blocked by Cooper. Knocked loose, and they're going at each other pretty good.
Celtics will control, and it will have a loose ball foul on Jamal Wilkes. So Jamal Wilkes now has 3. So the 3 foul club members, charter members, are Cooper, Wilkes, Abdul-Jabbar, Nixon, and McAdoo. That's 5. 5 players with 3 fouls, which isn't so bad now with 4:45. But if anyone picks up a couple in a hurry, they'll be in trouble. Cooper is all over Bird. Bird can't move into Parrish, and Parrish hits the baseline jumper. So the Celtics have their first lead since 24-23 late in the 1st quarter. 4.5 to play in the 3rd. And a Boston foul.
That's foul on Archibald.
3 on him. Team fouls, by the way, Bill. Lakers 3, Celtics 2. Ford on Magic. Bird on Cooper. Tiny is on Nixon. 2 big centers going at it. And Wilkes and Maxwell. Johnson over Ford. Into Kareem, stuffs it through, and that's what Magic Johnson can do at that advantage as McAdoo gets set to come in. So the Lakers regain the lead as the tide changes back and forth. Bird going for it with Magic Johnson and the foul against the Lakers as McAdoo will come in for LA. There's Magic Johnson, 3rd foul on Magic.
Well, he's lucky he's not one of those guys that had the 3 fouls before, because that would create a problem this early in the game.
So Wilkes goes out of the game with 16, and McAdoo replaces him. So slowly the Lakers are getting their speed team in there with McAdoo. Jordan may be next. Bird, Cooper. Look at that passing by the Celtics. Got the lead again by 1. Larry Bird last year had 36 points and 21 rebounds as the Celtics won here. They're leading by a point with 3:32 to go. And a foul on Boston. It's on Chris Ford. 2nd on Ford, and team fouls for the Celtics. That'll be their 3rd. 3:32 remaining, 3rd period. Magic, Kareem. He's away from the hoop. McAdoo is open. Illegal defense call. Illegal defense called in McAdoo. Maxwell was playing underneath.
Well, if nobody's got him, get him the ball. Because he can fill it up.
Lakers down by a point. Close-in shot now of Kareem setting a screen. Ford trying to fight through. Pick and roll, but they get the foul anyway. It wasn't the most artistic pick and roll ever written in the books, but they get the foul.
They get the necessary results, either layup or foul.
Jamal on the bench, leading scorer with 16 for the Lakers. He's averaging over 20, and Chris Ford with his 2nd personal foul in a row, 3 in the game. And fourth team foul on Boston. Kareem misses the first and upset at that one.
Yeah, he thought he put a good spin on that one.
Kareem, compared to what he's done for the season. 1 out of 2 for Abdul-Jabbar, and we have a tie at 70 with 3:15 to go. 3 deadlocks in this ball game. And as we anticipated, a close game. Cooper tried to overplay Bird. Bird's going to try and make him pay for it. Nixon has Cooper on his left. McAdoo on the right. And Magic Johnson hanging in there. Turn around, high arch, McAdoo. Ford coming out with it. We're going to see ML Carr make his first appearance of the game in just a moment. Tiny Archibald puts a fake on Nixon beautifully. McAdoo tears the ball away from Parrish. Johnson. Foul. No basket. A foul. Johnson going in. And he'll go to the line.
And McAdoo did a good job getting that ball out because they tried to put pressure on the outlet, and he didn't have anyone pass to, so he took the other extra dribble and got the ball down court, which he's supposed to do. Good pass by Nixon, too. There you go.
So they'll go to the line. And a timeout, 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third period is a close one. Can't get it any tighter than 70 to 70. You know, Bill, I told you I was going to get you today, and I have. Yesterday, or was it the day before, was Bill Russell's birthday, folks. And I want you to know that the whole crew chipped in about 19 cents, and got you a birthday present. We all want to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thanks, Dick. I don't know how to handle this. It's probably ticking.
and we don't know if you want to open up what's in there. Let's see what we have in there. It's a hamburger that says no ketchup. Is that how you want it? Happy birthday, Bill.
Thanks, Dick. I needed that.
I told you I'd get you.
For that, you'll pay.
Even the greats age, folks.
That's unduly harsh.
All right, Magic Johnson. He's had 11 triples this season. And he's on his way. He has 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. So if he gets double figures in points, rebounds, assists, triple doubles it's called, and shows Magic's versatility. Also has 6 steals and 1 block shot, and a 2-point Laker lead. Bird going all the way. Offensive foul.
And now the Lakers, what they did then is what they normally do. When Bird has the ball, they are aware they have to help out.
Nixon goes out of the game. Another look.
There goes Bird, and we can't see where he got the foul, but we see he kept his eye on the basket. I can tell you that.
2:15 remaining. Third period. Eddie Jordan in for Nixon and hits the shot. Big story of this game for the Lakers. Eddie Jordan, 8 points off the bench. McAdoo also has 8, seeing the most action he has seen. Jordan is 4 for 4 from the field. ML Carr reported into the game as we had anticipated, and they try to thread the needle. Carr picks up the loose ball and just fires it up there. The Lakers have an edge now. They're hustling. And Cooper to Magic Johnson gets out of traffic. So ML Carr, the veteran who can play tough defense down the stretch. Cooper. Celtics were down by 8, regained the lead by 1. Look at that shuffle pass. Magic missed it, but Kareem with a fine pass to Magic Johnson, and Bird misses the dunk shot, the stuff. And he's down on the floor, and Cooper and Bird. Cooper is called for the foul. And Cooper can't understand it. Let's see if we can see something.
There's the push-off. There's the contact after the shot. There's a lot of contact there. They could have called a lot of different things, but that's what they called.
Called a foul on Cooper, number 4 on him from up top. Look at that contact as Cooper hit Larry Bird, and they both went flying.
And that's 4 fouls on Cooper.
Tremendous physical contact, and both Pat Riley and Bill Burtka are off the bench. saying if that foul is on anyone, maybe it should be on Larry Bird, and Pat just can't understand it. This is the first slump the Lakers have had since he's taken over, and he's handled it pretty well with a bunch of stars in his ball club. Bird only 3 for 10 from the field, but let's see the contact again, Will.
Yeah, he goes in here, and he goes up. He sees McAdoo. He doesn't touch him. He misses the shot, and there's the contact after the shot.
So a timeout, 1:22 remaining as Pat Riley takes a look up at the clock here. And there you see McAdoo and Kareem. And so there's no question that the physical aspect of this game has certainly picked up the pace.
You know, we've seen enough action for a game and overtime, and we're still in the third quarter. This is NBA basketball at its best. And when you consider that it's this time of year when these teams have played all these games, and as we showed on the map at the halftime how they've traveled since last Sunday, and they have gone at each other from the opening jump.
You know, when you play an 82-game schedule, there's got to be certain times during the year when you have a little fatigue. And, you know, it's natural for everyone to do it. Let's listen a little bit to Pat Riley, and I'm going to have you address that subject right after we hear him.
So when you set the screen cap step up, I think it'll be wide open. Okay. Take the ball right to the hoop, okay? You don't have it, just go to Eddie and you got the shot, or you go down inside. It's good motion, it's getting the movement. Okay? Bobby, bring your man out wide.
All right, what about the fatigue aspect, which has to hit you at some point?
Good shots going.
Well, what you have to do is play a little less emotional when fatigue comes. Now, for a game like this, they don't have to, coach doesn't have to worry about the guys. They're up for a game, games like this. Playing against the good teams, you know you got to play well. But what you try to do when I say less emotional, you have to be more concerned about doing things technically. You know, to go through the things, and it's not going through the motions. It's playing at a high level of efficiency, but playing no matter how you feel. Because most of the time, this time of year, you do not feel like playing.
Cooper on the bench with 4 fouls. He has scored 9 points, but a brilliant job on Larry Bird, who only has 8 points himself. And Chris Ford, who has been a defensive wizard for the Celtics here in the third period, also taking a breather. Larry Bird hits the free throw. This quarter, the Lakers are only shooting 37% to Boston's 42.
And you've noticed that the shooting percentage is way down because both these teams are playing good defense, as the good teams have to do.
As good as we've seen all year. Kareem, baseline. Magic and McAdoo tried to tip it in, but the ball just didn't bounce right. Maxwell against Jordan, and a foul by Eddie Jordan the other way. The officials, by the way, we didn't mention them, Hugh Evans and Bill Sarr, and we want to also send our best to NBA referee Joe Gashu, underwent an operation last week on his knee. It was termed a success by Dr. Stephen Lombardo, and Joe Gashu, who is a veteran official in the NBA, is expected to be released from a Los Angeles hospital this week.
And neither one of these teams is backing off. Just when the Lakers look like they're going pretty good, the Celtics come right back.
Bird sits down. He has 9 points, and Kevin McHale replaces him. So the cast for the Celtics, they have Carr and Tiny in the backcourt, Parrish, Maxwell, and McHale up front. The Lakers have Magic Johnson and Eddie Jordan in the backcourt, Kareem, Wilkes, and McAdoo up front. And that's what the Lakers do when they're in front after 3 and less than a minute to go.
And that's what Wilkes is doing. He did an excellent move without the ball because Maxwell's done a good job on him playing without the ball because he knows he has to be conscious of Jamal Wilkes and where he goes.
Landsberger replaces Kareem. Foul was on Maxwell, number 3, and Jamal shooting 2.
You know, most of the games, the Celtics like to send 2 or 3 guys on Kareem. They'll play Rick Roby and sometimes Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish is playing a lot of minutes today, which is kind of unusual against Kareem.
We saw Larry Bird, who a year ago had 36 points and 21 boards against LA. Best game he's ever played against the Lakers. 4-point Laker lead. McHale looking inside of Maxwell as Parrish is on the perimeter. They have less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jordan stays with Tiny. Is short on the shot. And Wilkes, loose ball foul. It'll be against Boston.
That was not the shot that Tiny wanted. Eddie Jordan did a good job. What he did, he helped out on Maxwell and then raced all the way out, all the way half the court to get to Tiny. And that's the kind of stuff that makes you tired, but that's what good defense is all about. is a lot of guys will take and they'll drop off halfway between their man and the ball, and that's what they call the illegal defense. But it's worse than illegal, it's bad defense.
ML Carr's foul is first. Both sides have been in the penalty, and Jamal Wilkes second in scoring and has been shooting over 50% from the field in his last 7 games. The Celtics haven't had a field goal in the last 3:16 as Jamal makes 1 of 2. 25 seconds remaining. Don't forget, at the end of the game, we'll be awarding our Miller Most Valuable Player Award. Last week, it was won by Michael Cooper of the Lakers. McHale, 10 seconds. Carr hits the jump shot, so the drought ends. And now we have a 3-point lead for the Lakers with 5 seconds to go. Jordan trying to get in on Tiny, goes in and gets the bucket. Eddie Jordan with 10 points, a perfect 5 for 5. And that is the end of the 3rd period here at the Forum with the score, the LA Lakers 79, the Boston Celtics 74, and we'll be back after this word from your local station. You're looking at the score by periods, which was dead even in the 3rd after LA had a 1-point lead and a 4-point edge in the 2nd period. 57-52 at the half, and they maintain the 5-point lead as we go into the 4th period. Dick Stockton and Bill Russell. Michael Cooper on the sideline. So right now they have Landsberger, McAdoo, and Jordan, and that's the running team for the Lakers, and combating that, they have the likes of Carr.
And it's the 4th foul on Magic Johnson going over the top.
So Cooper and Magic have 4 fouls apiece, and a lot of other Lakers, 4 to be exact, have 3. So that will be a factor we'll watch here. Laker bench, Norm Nixon's going to check in the ball game. You see him get off at the top of his screen. Parrish, Jordan, gambling all over the place. Maxwell fighting inside. Maxwell blocked by McAdoo. Parrish. That goes for Robert Parrish. So the Lakers and Landsberger is going to have to help keep Boston away from those offensive shots. They can murder you inside with 2nd and 3rd shots. Jordan using a screen by McAdoo. Loose ball, and McHale picks it up. Carr ahead of the field, gets 2 more. Here you saw an example of that rim that can give. So the Lakers lead now 79-78. 4 straight points for the Celtics here in the opening 2 minutes of this 4th period. Magic Johnson goes up. They're going to count it as goaltending. Credit the basket to Magic Johnson. He has now 14 points in the ball game. Did not play in last Sunday's Laker win when Boston had a 20-point lead and lost it. Pushing off. They try to get it in a mismatch, taking advantage well as Jordan fouls Maxwell.
That's a good foul. You foul him before he gets inside and so he doesn't get 2 shots. And the only problem is that they have 2 team fouls, and you try to keep them getting the free throws.
Bird's
but
still
that
on
was
the
a smart foul.
Bird's still on the bench. He was on there for quite a while towards the end last week. By the way, Jordan now has 4 personal fouls. He remains in the game, and we'll have another LA foul. It's on Norm Nixon.
And that foul situation starting to unfold.
4 on Nixon. So Magic Johnson, Nixon, and Jordan, the 3 guards, and Fat Cooper, all have 4 fouls. Of course, Magic started the game at forward. 4 players with 4 fouls. Maxwell, again with Jordan. They're getting a mismatch all over the place. Tiny will take the shot outside. Maxwell, the offensive board. So Boston is now beating LA against that offensive board and creating mismatches, and LA's lead again 81-80.
What you have to do in a mismatch, if you're a guard or forward, you have to remember to screen out, no matter which position, and that way you give yourself a chance.
Jordan driving on Carr, blocked inside. So the Celtics are putting it together against the Laker team that likes to run, but Carr throws it away right in the hands of Wilkes. And a 4-on-2 for LA, passing off, wide open McAdoo. Wide open, he missed the shot. And Maxwell in the forecourt. Jamal is back on the D. 9:35 remaining, 4th period. 1-point lead for the Lakers, but Parrish gives Boston the lead. 92-91 or 82-81 with those people on the bench. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Cooper on the bench, And Larry Bird on the bench, but with him on the sidelines, the Celtics have taken the lead. 9:25, timeout LA. The Celtics lead it 82-81. As Nixon and Jordan have 4 personal fouls apiece. Digger Phelps Fighting Irish at Notre Dame take on South Carolina's Gamecocks next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. NCAA college basketball, join us. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the ball game. The Celtics, however, have out-rebounded the Lakers 6-0 here in this fourth quarter. Most of the job by Parrish and Maxwell, who have 23 rebounds between them. So against that smaller lineup, the Celtics have gone to work on the boards.
Yes, they've gotten this lead, slim as it is, on offensive boards.
Nixon in trouble out to Jordan. Both have 4 fouls. Kareem. Jordan has not missed today. We have him 6 for 6 unofficially for 12 points. 6 for 7 make it as we check officially. Jordan has 12. His season's high is 17. Lakers by 1. ML Carr always gives the Celtics an emotional lift out there.
And look on offensive foul on Robert Parrish, trying to get position.
That's 4 on him.
Yes. And he's wondering, why me?
It was right in front of Hugh Evans. So Parrish, the lone Celtic with 4 fouls. Cooper, Nixon, Magic, and Jordan have 4 for LA. McAdoo makes the move to the hoop and draws the foul. That's what the Lakers want from him. They know he's an offensive player, and Magic Johnson with a familiar smile, who has helped the rebounding story for the Lakers today, and 14 points on offense. As McAdoo goes to the line, the personal foul is on McHale, number 2. He has 1 coming. Scored 22 points this past week against Atlanta. Slowly getting back into shape and playing a lot more. He has 9 in the ball game, and between Jordan and McAdoo, 21 points off the bench,
which is unusually high for the Lakers.
McHale has McAdoo to defensive. Can't go baseline. Jordan tried to help out, and he might have confused McHale a little bit to throw the shot off. Maxwell trying to roll it out to a teammate, and does. Good hustle, open. Carr, no foul. Lakers. Here comes Nixon. He's got Jordan and McAdoo. McAdoo pulls up. And now the Celtics come back. Under 8 minutes remaining. Fourth period. 84-82. The Lakers lead. And a steal by Jordan. Kareem gives it to Wilkes. All the way.
He knows what to do with it.
And Fitz wants a timeout. Pat Riley likes what he sees. Both clubs have been struggling, but they're playing all out today.
Good defense here by Jordan. Intercepts the ball, but he gives it to real good dribbler. But he passes off to the guy who really knows what to do with it.
5 straight points for the Lakers, and they are up by 4. 7:41 remaining fourth period. Larry Bird is in the ball game for the Celtics. He has scored 9 points. Gerald Henderson is also in. So it's Henderson and Tiny in the backcourt. Tiny with the ball. And McHale, Maxwell, and Bird up front. Parrish on the bench with 22 points. Lakers with Kareem and McAdoo. They do well with that group. Parrish gets the offensive board, and Henderson banks it in. So what do the substitutions mean right here, Bill?
Well, what they're trying to hold the line for the next 3 or 4 minutes to get ready to go down the stretch. So that now this is one of those things when both teams would like to play pretty much even. Although Henderson got on that another offensive rebound was responsible for that because Bird got the offensive rebound.
McAdoo.
Now the Lakers almost got one because of that.
McAdoo has had some tough luck the last couple of times. So what you're really saying is, as Maxwell goes up and is fouled,
there's something wrong with Kareem. His ankle is bothering him.
All right, we'll take a watch on that. Michael Cooper, meanwhile, comes in the ball game. What an interesting story about him that hasn't been told very often, and that is when he was 5 years old, he was cut in the leg with a coffee can tin. I'm talking about Michael Cooper now. 100 stitches on his leg, and he was fitted with a metal knee brace, and he wore that for 5 years. And Michael Cooper, they said he could never walk again without that brace. Took it off at age 10, and by the time he was 14, it started running again, which is really a tremendous story, isn't it?
Yes, and he can run, too.
We saw Magic come back, too, as Maxwell, 6 points above his season's average. There have been 4 ties in this ball game. We're at 86. 6:45 remaining fourth period. McHale, Bird, and Maxwell the front line. So Parrish getting a breather right now. Kareem in the game. Nixon looking to him with 6 seconds on the shot clock, and Kareem goes in. 17 points for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You know, his ankle's bothering him, and that may be one of the reasons that for him, the way he takes that sky hook, that could really throw him off if he can't get to the height he wants or push off of it the way he wants.
Pick and roll. Carr takes the shot. And another deadlock. Reaching the halfway point of this fourth period in an 88-88 ball game. The Celtics trying to protect the one-half game lead over Philadelphia in the Atlantic Division. Kareem, 2 in a row inside. Bad ankle and all, has 19 points. And as long as the Celtics don't know about it, Kareem will be all right. Henderson goes inside. McHale. Good fall-away shot over Abdul-Jabbar. He can jump, McHale. He looks kind of awkward if you haven't seen him and don't know what his credentials are. But Kevin McHale, a godsend for the Celtics in his second year. 5.5 minutes remaining, fourth period. McHale out to meet Kareem and throws the ball away. Turnover, Boston ball.
That could be a very important play.
Henderson from Virginia Commonwealth. Guarded by Nixon. Wilkes is shadowing Bird. And a foul against
Norm Nixon.
Norm
It
Nixon.
could be his 5th foul.
It not only could, it is 5 on Norm.
He crossed his legs defensively. That's where he got into the problem.
So Nixon's the first player in the game with 5 personal fouls. And Eddie Jordan is in the ball game now as Nixon gets a rest. So Jordan, who has 12 points on 6 for 7 from the field today. Henderson misses the free throw. Chris Ford, who only has 2 points but has been a tremendous spark plug on defense for the Celtics in the second half, particularly in the third period. Henderson, 1 of 2, has 5 points. Boston by 1. Clock showing less than 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Call it 5:05. Jamal, Maxwell out to meet him. Jordan and Henderson very quick. Kareem with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Eddie Jordan, not this time, but Wilkes is there to muscle his way in.
Good offensive board. And he gave it just enough fake so that no one could block it. No one get the timing it takes to block it.
Deceptively tough inside. Everyone knows about how smooth Jamal Wilkes is and how quiet he gets the work done. 23 for him. Henderson comes back with 2. So he has 7 off the bench. So the bench starting to do some scoring for the Celtics, leading by 1. All the way, Magic lost control. And it's Boston ball. Magic Johnson went end to end as he does very often, but lost control at the other end. And the bench, Celtics coming in now as Carr and Henderson doing some damage. Celtic bench have now outscored the Laker bench, 23-21. 4 minutes to play, fourth period. 1-point game, Boston.
3 seconds.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Look at that move by Wilkes. Look at that baseline move, didn't go. Larry Bird, Carr, wild pass. Maxwell was there. Alert play by Maxwell as Roby and the rest of the Celtics off the bench. They want this one.
They want them all, both teams.
They have met 6 times in the championship finals. Celtics winning all 6. at 6 of the 14 NBA titles, and Boston had a 9-point lead in the first quarter at 16-7, and they're up by 3 here. We have had 6 ties. Maxwell not giving Jamal any room. Cooper. His last touch by Kareem. Let's see.
Loose ball foul on Kareem. That should be his 5th or 4th.
So Cooper, Magic, and Kareem all have 4 fouls, and Nixon and Jordan have 5.
And the Lakers are not getting the kinds of shots they want to get at this time, at this juncture of the game. They want to get better shots, and they're not getting them. They're getting shots, but they're off rhythm, so that it's very difficult to make shots when you're taking shots that seem to be wide open, but they're not really wide open shots.
Kevin McHale, the Minnesota All-America, hits the first of 2. Lakers in the penalty, 5th foul. The Celtics have committed only 2, and they're in pretty good shape foul-wise because Parrish is on the bench right now, and he is the only Celtic with 4 personal fouls. So a 5-point Boston lead, 97-92, 3:09 to go. And if the Lakers are going to be a factor down the stretch, they've got to go to work now. Cooper against Bird. Kareem being overplayed by McHale, and they go into the big guy. So you say what you want, as Robert Parrish is on the bench with 22 points. The Lakers, when they're in a half-court game, go to the big man, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 97-94. And a clutch basket by M.L. Carr. 2.5 to go. 4th. Jordan going baseline against Henderson in the crowd. And it rolls for him.
He's having a super game for him.
14 points. Career high 17. Lakers trail by 3. Parrish remains on the bench for Boston because the Celtics are doing it with this group. Carr hit a clutch hoop before. Shuffles it into Maxwell. The basket is good and a foul. Big play
on Kareem. Maybe his 6th foul.
M.L. Carr with a tremendous driving shuffle pass.
There he goes, and there's a foul right there.
5 on Kareem. Maxwell gets the hoop, and the Celtics are up 101-96. Jersey in a shootout in the 4th period, and Philadelphia beat New York 117-105. So right now, Philadelphia is in a dead tie with Boston. First place in the Atlantic Division, and will be at the Spectrum next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Phoenix Suns, who are struggling, getting along with a lot of injuries, but managing to pull some victories out of the hat. They beat Boston this week against Philadelphia, and the 76ers remain tough as ever, don't they, Bill?
Yeah, people thought they might have a real problem when Dale Duncan got hurt, but they pulled themselves together. They struggled a little while, they pulled themselves together, and they're right back at it again.
They acquired Mike Banham, who's been a fine addition. Dr. J. Julius Erving is always a show. So it'll be Philadelphia Phoenix next Sunday, 1 o'clock. NBA, Bob McAdoo back in the ball game, less than 2 minutes to go. And Wilkes with a jump shot. 4-point Boston lead, less than 2 minutes to go. So Jamal Wilkes, 25 points. He had 26 last week, averaging 20 for the year. Henderson using clock, getting low down of Maxwell. McAdoo trying not to foul. Doesn't, but it goes in. What a play. Maxwell, 16 points in this half. LA down by 6. They know that Seattle is lost because the scores are posted here. Magic Johnson throws it up and gets it after the miss by McAdoo. So we're again down to 4, 104-100. There's the time, 4th period. And the Forum crowd at a fevered pitch here. Maxwell setting a screen, Henderson. Rebound, Magic, here he comes. Foul, he got the foul. What a play, Magic, end-to-end basketball, and that's his trademark, Bill.
Yeah, when the going gets tough, he likes to take it right down the middle, because a lot of times the defense will be trying to set up, and there'll be an opening there. He's fouled by McHale.
The Celtics are not yet in the penalty. That was their 4th team foul. And Magic Johnson, who's been in and out because of that strained arch, showing how much the Lakers need him, hitting his first free throw. Michael Cooper is back in the ball game, replacing Nixon. Boston has turned around the bench scoring story here in the 4th period. Earlier, it was all L.A.
Yeah, but Gerald Henderson and M.L. Carr have come alongside, and Kevin McHale have come along strong.
Magic 18 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, down to 2 points with less than a minute to go. Boston still has a foul to give, and both teams still have several timeouts. Bird against Wilkes, double team. Carr, he hit a big jumper before. Wild shot, Kareem controls. Lakers can tie it. They have 18 seconds on the shot clock, no basket. Foul before the basket. And Magic Johnson will have a chance to tie the ball game up. It is the 5th foul against the Celtics. It is on Tiny Archibald, and Magic Johnson can tie it up right here.
Well, there he goes. There's the contact right there, and they give him a continuation.
Robert Parrish has come back in the ball game. He has scored 22 points as Pat Riley listens to Bill Burtka, his assistant coach, to decide what to do in the final seconds. 32 seconds, and Bill Fitch also looking at the clock. And Magic Johnson, 6 for 7 from the free throw line. So the Lakers can't tie it up here.
They still have to get the ball one more time. With 32 seconds, the Celtics can't run out of the clock with a 1-point lead.
You saw Bird, who has 9 points in the ball game. But the Celtics have the lead, 104-102. Now a 1-point game.
Now if the Celtics get a point here, the Lakers may have to go for a 3-point shot.
15 on the shot clock. Parrish screens out Cooper. Larry Bird goes up. They call an offense. They call a foul on L.A. Foul on L.A. Blocking foul. The basket,
call the basket good.
The basket counts and a foul on Los Angeles. Magic Johnson was in the air screaming.
Here comes Bird.
Look at that.
Yes, he did take a little step. 1 step too many.
They didn't get that, but they got the foul. Gerald Henderson. So Larry Bird can give the Celtics a 4-point lead with 19 seconds remaining. And the Lakers going to call a timeout right now. They have 1 plus a 20. So the story, 19 seconds to go. You know LA will be coming out trying to shoot for 3. We'll find out what unravels when we return to the Forum in just a moment. Leading scorers, Maxwell has 27, Parrish 22 for the Celtics. For the Lakers, Wilkes 25 and Kareem 21 with Magic 19.
Now they're probably going to try to go for a quick basket and then play defense and then give up a foul and hoping someone will miss 1 shot. That's all, and then they have to go for a 3-point play. But they have got to score as soon as possible.
And they're not a good 3-point shooting team.
No, they're not.
All right, Norm
and there's
Nixon.
Their best 3-point shooter right there, Norm Nixon.
And he comes in the ball game. So the Lakers present to the Celtics Kareem, Nixon, McAdoo, Irvin Johnson, and Jamal Wilkes.
You know, this game has been one of those games where they've been, it's been a ball game. Well, there's no point, no team has been able to get a big lead and not to be able to hold on to it. They've been going at each other from the opening tip-off.
It has been a game accentuated by defensive play. Steal, M.L. Carr. And the Celtics have it. M.L. Carr steals the pass. 11 seconds to go, and Boston in control now. They just want to use up the clock. A 4-point lead and a foul by Norm Nixon. But there you're looking at 3 happy Celtics, including number 31. And
that's when you get some help from the bench. M.L. Carr, that's one of the things he does. That's why Fitch likes to use him down the stretch, because he's enthusiastic and a smart ball player.
Boston Celtics, after losing at home last week, wanting to win at Los Angeles' court. So these clubs apparently heading for a split and could be meeting again in the NBA Finals. And with 5 seconds to go, we know that the Miller High Life Most Valuable Player Award goes to Cedric Maxwell, who was the MVP of the playoffs last year. Cedric Maxwell scored 27 points today and 11 rebounds, and night and day compared to his play of last week, wouldn't you say?
Well, I guess he loves it on the road, huh?
I guess so. 31 against San Diego.
That's what I said last week, you know, that these two teams, it doesn't make a difference where they play.
You said that, you know, just before we went off the air last week, that don't get fooled by this home court thing because it could turn around.
Well, all these teams, like the teams that are playing well, have to play on the road. And it doesn't make any difference where you play. It's just how you play on that day. It doesn't make any difference to the good teams.
So Cedric Maxwell, the MVP, and the Miller High Life $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of Cedric Maxwell in his 5th year from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, a first-round draft choice in '77, who has been averaging just over 13 points a game, but leading the team with 27. So that's 58 points in the last 2 games for Maxwell. Not much that Pat Riley can do right here. 5 points.
No.
Not against this team. Now, there's some clubs you might be able to make some points up, but not against Boston. 5 with 5 seconds. So LA heading for their 3rd loss in a row, and the Celtics have lost 2 out of 3 with a big win here. The executive producer of NBA basketball, Jim Harrington. Today's game is all produced by Michael Burks and directed by Tony Verna. And our thanks to everyone that put this telecast on. And, of course, our special thanks to Marty Aronoff, once again doing a fine job with the statistics. And sometimes they mean so much in the game as the ebb and flow of the contest. So thanks to everyone. In this rematch between the Celtics and the Lakers. Don't forget, I want to remind you again, Philadelphia 76ers, we were in New Jersey when Darryl Dawkins went down, lost for quite a while. They re-signed him to a contract. But the Philadelphia 76ers winning today, right with the Celtics, going for 3 points and missing with 1 second to go, and that'll do it. So the Boston Celtics have won this ball game. Next week, it's going to be Philadelphia and Phoenix. Dr. J at the Spectrum, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And Robert Parrish, a job well done with 22 points.
Yeah, he had himself quite a game. And what he does, he gives them that score in the first half, particularly, and keeps them in the ball game. And then the other guys start to pick up as they go. But they had a good all-around team game today because they got a lot of help from their bench, both offense and defensively.
So this is Dick Stockton for Bill Russell. Final score again. Celtics 108, the Lakers 103. Don't forget next Saturday, it'll be NCAA basketball and a golf doubleheader. First, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Then the TPA Tour continues as CBS takes you to the $300,000 Los Angeles Open. That's next Saturday on CBS Sports. So now we return you to Brent Musburger in New York.